Matt Chapman is signing with the San Francisco Giants. Matt Chapman, he's going into his age 31-year-old season. He's reuniting with Bob Melvin, and he's going back to his home state of California on a 3-year, $54 million deal. And just to touch on the Cody Bellinger signing a little bit, being able to go back to the Cubs on 3 years, $80 million, I think that was a great signing for both sides. I think the Cubs were doing the right thing and bringing Cody Bellinger back. And Cody Bellinger, if like he's going to be able to build off of his great season from last year and kind of prove that it wasn't just a one and done thing. If he can prove he can be consistent, I think he's going to have himself even bigger payday in 2025. Kind of the same thing here with Matt Chapman. Obviously Chapman is a little bit older, but he's one of the best defensive third basemen in the game. He's top 3 easily. You have Nolan Arenado, Ke'Bryan Hayes. I think Ke'Bryan Hayes going into this season is kind of a little bit higher. He may be the best defensive third baseman in the game. The fact that he won the Gold Glove. Arenado's still tremendous at third base. Matt Chapman won the Gold Glove last year. By far the best defensive third baseman, and he has been the best defensive third baseman in the American League for the longest time. 2-time Platinum Glove Award winner and a four-time Gold Glove winner. Like I said, he won the Gold Glove at third base last year. He is providing tremendous talent in terms of an upgrade for the Giants. You had J.D. Davis, who had himself a really good season. Similar numbers to what Chapman put up, in Chapman in a struggling season for Chapman in a down year. I'm talking about Chapman here. He had 17 home runs, had 66 RBIs, and batted .240. J.D. Davis batted .248, 18 home runs with 69 RBIs. I look at J.D. Davis, even though he had himself a really good season, that was one of his better years throughout his career. No disrespect when I'm talking about J.D. Davis here. I think he did exactly what the Giants needed him to do. He got a chance to play every day, and he put up really good numbers especially for his career standards. This gives them the ability to be able to be a little bit more versatile with him, have him play some first base, DH, maybe play a corner outfield spot. But Matt Chapman is far better than J.D. Davis, because in a down year, Matt Chapman had 4 more wins above replacement than J.D. Davis in one of J.D. Davis's best seasons. In terms of outs above average, Matt Chapman was one of the best. In terms of the bat, had one of the highest whiff rates in the league last year, and he's kind of been prone to be a big strikeout guy. But before last year, he came off of back-to-back seasons from 2022 and 2021 with 27 plus home run seasons. And I anticipate we're going to see that Matt Chapman again, a guy who's going to go for 25 plus home runs, provide elite defense at that third base position and power from the right side of the plate. And the fact that he's going to be adding some experience and being able to kind of maybe tap into his MVP caliber play again, playing under Bob Melvin and playing in his native state of California pretty much for half the season, more than half of the season, because you're playing the NL West, you're going to be playing the Dodgers, you're going to be playing the Padres a lot. Seeing what the Giants have been doing throughout the offseason, this is just such a great fit. The Giants were linked to Chapman all offseason, I should say. And the fact that they brought in Jorge Soler, power plays everywhere. I said that before about Jorge Soler. And I think it's going to be no different as long as he stays healthy. He's going to have a good season for them. I think Jung-Hoo Lee, who was one of the best players in the KBO, him coming over to the Giants, I think that's going to be something to watch, especially him being able to play a tremendous outfield, I should say, center field. Thairo Estrada was the right spot. Wilmer Flores had himself a good season. And the fact that they lost Brandon Crawford to the Cardinals, or the fact that they just let him walk, let him one of those franchise cornerstones for a long time now, even though he's getting older. Seeing one of those franchise faces walk out the door and don a different uniform is going to be weird to see. But at least bringing guys like Matt Chapman in will probably soften the blow a little bit and kind of get them back more to being a competitive baseball team. Being able to compete, especially in that NL West with the Dodgers, pretty much building a juggernaut, and having the Diamondbacks, who got way better, and they're the defending National League champions. Matt Chapman only makes this Giants team better. I think he's going to be a great breakout candidate for 2024. I think that third base Gold Glove race is going to be pretty nasty. It's going to be a bloodbath for sure. I don't even think the Giants will be done. I think on top of the great signings and trading for Robbie Ray, and they're more hoping probably he'll be able to find himself again, have himself a renaissance season, going into his mid-30s now and getting off of Mitch Haniger's contract. Jock Peterson go. They have addressed a lot of the offensive side, and you even addressed your defense, bringing in Lee and Chapman, guys who are really good with the glove, bringing Jorge Soler to provide some more power. Logan Webb, your ace of the staff, and they could potentially be looking at a Jordan Montgomery or a Blake Snell. I'm not sure what the aftermath after the Chapman deal would be in terms of the financials, but Chapman, I believe this season he's going to be getting paid $20 million. It's going to drop the following 2 seasons if he stays. They could potentially go out and get another top pitcher like a Blake Snell, and if they do find a way to be able to get that done, I think this team should be getting taken a lot more seriously than people probably give them credit for, just because of like the Dodgers playing in that same division and kind of seeing what the Diamondbacks are going to be made of, especially with their signings and moves. This is definitely a team I could see could be a wild card team at the end of the year, depending if everybody stays healthy and depending how things fall in the standings and everything. I'm not going to count this team out. This team has made some really good moves, and I really like this team a lot. Now, with only a few weeks left before opening day kicks off, since it's already March, and I know the winter has kind of been flying by, can't wait for the warm weather to start coming back and baseball season to really be underway. That being said, Chapman signing the deal he did, and with Bellinger signing the deal he did, it makes me wonder what somebody like a Blake Snell will sign for, because he turned down over $160 million from the Yankees, looking for potentially like 300 million or something like that, or just a far bigger number than what the Yankees were offering. And then you got Jordan Montgomery, who's looking for money, I believe around like maybe 150, and you got JD Martinez still on the market looking for maybe one more payday. My thing is that with the time ticking and the clock winding down in terms of being able to get deals done, how are these contracts going to look, and for potentially what teams these guys are going to play for? It's going to be real interesting. So I would say keep an eye on the contracts on top of what teams end up signing these guys, because I find it really difficult to think that opening day is already going to come and go and these guys are still going to be without teams. I think that's just going to be a bad look for Major League Baseball, and I think it's just going to be a bad look on the idea of free agency in the offseason for top players and not to be able to find new homes before opening day starts. How Major League Baseball is going to go about kind of identifying that issue and kind of more or less try to streamline the idea of free agency, kind of how the NBA does it, maybe in a little bit more expanded format, but at the same time not allowing key players to remain unsigned until like spring training games have already been underway. Seeing somebody like Matt Chapman, who you could have signed for 5 years over $100 million in December, be in March and he just manages, or they just manage to sign him with like 3 weeks left before opening day kicks off. 2-3 weeks left. Something to keep an eye on. Giants fans should anticipate a bounce back season for Matt Chapman. They should anticipate somebody who's going to go over 20 plus home runs, somebody who's going to drive in around at least 80 RBIs, durable, and be able to play elite defense at third base. Giants fans, I would be excited if I were you.